In one of my previous Facebook Live videos, I have shared the secrets to increasing indirect wealth because I spoke Mandarin in that video and some of my clients actually requested me to explain this in English. So today I will try to explain to you the practical steps that you can take to increase your chances of getting indirect wealth. Indirect wealth actually refers to any kind of wealth that you receive not through your own effort. For example, when it comes to direct wealth, it means that when you put effort to earn something, then you will be rewarded for your effort, such as a money salary or a project-based or contract-based kind of work that you carry out for your clients. Some examples of direct wealth. They come to you as a result of some compensation or rewards for the hard work that you have put in. Whereas indirect wealth can be any form of wealth that comes to you without you having to work hard for it. They can come to you in the form of, for example, lottery winning, investment, or some people out of a heart of gratitude give you a sum of money to thank you for certain things that you have done. Therefore, indirect wealth is something that is often attractive to many people as they believe that without working hard, they will be able to get a sum of money to support them, help them through difficult times, and allowing them to have more enjoyments in life. Wealth is not an evil thing. Wealth is actually a positive thing if you use it with the right intention and purpose. A lot of people hear the word money and believe that it is a dirty word. But come to think of it, everything in life requires us to use money to facilitate transaction and to buy us necessities in life and to help us to have a more reasonable standard of living, so to speak. Therefore, wealth is just a tool. How we use it is the main point that differentiates whether money is evil or is a very useful entity. And how we get money is always not just, as an actual fact in life. A lot of people, they are wealthy not because of how hard they work, but because of how smart they work. If everyone who work hard will become wealthy, then most of the people who work in industry that requires a lot of physical hard work will become the richest people on earth, such as the reality in this world. But we can often realize or observe that people who are the richest usually are the ones who work not as much, or they don't use as much physical strength, or they don't conduct very strenuous activities to gather wealth. What they do is they identify opportunity, they become the best in their industry, or they hire people who can help them in order to increase wealth. For example, of course, there are many channels in which we can increase our wealth. So to cut it short, there are actually some ways that we can leverage on BaZi reading or other form of astrological reading to increase our indirect wealth. And today I will just focus more on BaZi. When it comes to indirect wealth, if your day master is of a yang nature, and that having these and other elements which you control or suppress and is also of the yang nature, then it will be your indirect wealth. For example, if you are a Wu, earth, day master, Ren, water, will be your indirect wealth. Alternatively, if you are of a yin, day master, or a day master with a yin nature, and if you are matched with an other element within your chart that is of the yin nature, then that element will be your indirect wealth. And to illustrate this, for example, earth will be able to suppress water in the sense that earth can always, when there's a flooding, we can always use sand and soil to cover the flooding area to stop the flooding, right? Therefore, we can see that this controlling relationship between or suppressing relationship creates a day master and wealth elements relationship. I will ignore the strong or weak day master first for those beginners, so that I will make this principle more easy to understand. If you are of earth day master, water will be your wealth. And if both are of the same nature, for example, yang earth meeting with yang water, then the yang water will be your indirect wealth. And if you are of yang wood elements and you are meeting the yang earth elements, then yang earth will be your indirect wealth. If you are of yang water elements meeting yang fire, then yang fire will be your indirect wealth. So it is really that simple. But the difficult part comes in how we identify our day master and how we determine the strength of our day master. As at a more advanced level, the day master strength will need to be determined before we gauge whether you are having a period for positive development in terms of indirect wealth. I will try to show you a chart so as to give you some form of illustration. This is a BaZi birth chart, and you can see that here is the Bing Fire Day Master. All right. I hope this is clear. I will read out for you. It is of a Bing Fire Day Master sitting of Yin Wood with Ding Mao in the monthly pillar and Zi Shi in the yearly pillar, and with our pillar of Yi Wei. Therefore, you can see that the Fire Day Master here is rather strong because Mao, Yin are wood element and Shi is fire elements. With this Ding on top at the monthly heavenly stamp, and with the wood at the hourly heavenly stamp, and with a wood storage of Wei here, it makes the Day Master of Bing very strong. So in this case, if we have a Bing Fire Day Master that is strong, what will be the indirect wealth elements for these birth charts? In this case, the indirect wealth element will be the Yang metal, which is the Gun Jing or Gun metal. And when we look at her destiny trend, okay, looking at the destiny trend, there are actually some metal elements doing her years from say 53 onwards. Okay, from 53 onwards, there are some wares or some metal elements, because metal represents the wares, and we call it the Jingyun or Xifang Yun, which are Shen You Xu. So within this 53 towards 83 years of age, there are actually a great amount of wealth for her, especially 53 onwards. There is this sun, which is also the same equivalent to gun in the heavenly stem. As I have mentioned previously, a lot of heavenly stems can be used interchangeably with the earthly branches. So what I'm trying to say is that we can always look at our destiny trend, also our yearly trend, our month and day, to determine what elements are present within that period of time. So this is actually very simple. Just try to look at your, try to download some form of lunar calendar on your phone. You can always try to look at the month to see, for instance, this year, which month is strong in the metal elements. I would say from August to October. From August to October, because August is of the Wu Shen, September is of the Zi You, October is of the Gen Xu, right? All these are strong in the metal element. And then you can find the month with the strongest metal element, for example, in August. Second half of August, on the 23rd of August. On the 23rd of August, it is of the Wu Shen here. Okay. Wu Shen, which is a sign of Earth, strengthening the metal element. Okay, look at the 23rd of August, right? It is of the day of Wu Shen, which is a sign of Earth strengthening the metal element. And the month of August is also Wu Shen. Therefore, during such a month, this person with a strong fire Day Master can try to do whatever she wants to increase her wealth. When I say whatever she wants, it means that it can be in the form of investment or even other form of activities that will somehow boost her wealth. Therefore, this is the principle that applies for someone who have a strong Day Master. What if you have a weak Day Master of Bing Fire, for instance? If you have a weak Bing Fire Day Master, then you will find the destiny trend within your chart that has the strongest wood or fire elements, the year in which is strong in the wood or fire elements, the month and the day, and also similarly with the strongest fire and wood element. Then that will be the period in which you will have a greater chance of experiencing a windfall, so to speak. But of course, it will also depend on your original chart to see if there are also other supporting elements to further increase the strength of your indirect wealth. But for today's lesson, I will keep it in the simplest level so that beginners will be able to understand. Therefore, in terms of BaZi, this is basically how we determine if you are able to have a better chance in terms of experiencing indirect wealth in your life. If you have further questions, please feel free to comment and WhatsApp me so that I can elaborate this concept to you further. So I will just keep today's lesson short and simple. Thank you very much for watching.